everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today. We're your boys. We always got something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog. And today, folks, it is finally time for us to address the entire situation that's going on with Alek freaking Manoah, man. Some weird stuff, some strange things said, and we want to dive deep in what we think his future with the Blue Jays, or maybe just in general, might look like, everybody. Let's get straight into this, dude. So Alek Manoah, as you all know, not with the Toronto Blue Jays right now, but also kind of with the Toronto Blue Jays right now.
Yeah, I mean, he was optioned back on August 11th, and that's the time of recording, guys. It's August 23rd. So
that's like 2 weeks later.
You're looking at 12 days of basically no baseball activity that we know of right now. Normally when a player gets optioned, he goes to AAA, right? And he goes right back into the rotation, gets work done, but nothing's being done. And Sportsnet came out with an article kind of touching on this. Obviously, Sportsnet owned by the Blue Jays, so they're kind of putting that narrative out there. And they had John Schneider with a couple quotes in here just saying, you know, we're really trying to work through the right time to get him back rolling again. So nothing really to report. So it's been almost 2 weeks, like you're saying, and there really hasn't been any motion. So this is kind of causing a lot of Blue Jays analysts, a lot of Blue Jay fans to kind of be like, well, what is going on? There's not being a lot being said. So is there something else that we're missing here?
Well, initially when he wasn't sent down, right? Initially I was thinking to myself, okay, well maybe it's because they have plans to bring him up so soon. Maybe it's because they're like, we're literally going to have him back on the team in like a day or something. I'm not, you know, it's like, I was like, well, why would they be doing this, right? Like, that's the only thing that I could think of.
Maybe there's an injury coming, or maybe there's a long stretch of ball coming, right?
And so for the first few days, I wasn't really too concerned about it, didn't really cross my mind. But now when we're getting to the double-digit mark, you know, we're at day number 12 right now. Tomorrow's going to be day 13 when this comes out. So we are 2 weeks into this. Yeah, you're starting to wonder, why are we doing this, and why are we, you know, working together to find the right time to work with him again? You know, I thought that he was good to go.
Right, he should have already had 2 starts by now, and yeah, you got to wonder, man, is there something wrong with him? Is he injured? Is there something wrong mentally? Well, Keegan Matheson, you know, one of the Blue Jays beat writers, comes out here and says that the Blue Jays trying to figure out the right time physically, right? You got John Schneider not even mentioning the physical part, and he says, I think in the terms of delivery and things like that, says Schneider, okay? So he actually mentions the physical part right here to Keegan Matheson for when he will start to pitch in AAA Buffalo. So he's kind of hinting that maybe they need to do some physical work to get him back. I don't know if that means conditioning. I don't know if that means, you know, his mechanics and whatnot, but why would you need to get someone ready to go play in, no offense to AAA Buffalo players out there, but to kind of meaningless ball games to the Toronto Blue Jays organization?
Well, 100%, especially when it's somebody of the caliber of Alek Manoah. And when we flash over to what Eric Truden has to say, shout out to Eric Truden, who's over there at the Jays Journal. They do some incredible work, but he's coming out and effectively saying what we are effectively saying right now, which is, I'm not here to make something out of nothing, but I wouldn't be shocked if there was something funky going on between the Blue Jays and Alek Manoah behind the scenes. It's very odd that he's yet to report to AAA after being optioned almost 2 full weeks ago, right? And especially odd when you're thinking, like you said, the Toronto Blue Jays, they're on a road trip right now. Yeah. They're not even in Toronto.
No.
You know, what is he doing?
Are there people there working with him, like the training staff, you know, pitching coaches? I don't really know, right? Yeah. And it's starting to really concern us and a lot of Blue Jay fans out there. You got Sophie, shout out Sophie, a big subscriber and a fan of this channel, saying that Alek Manoah's situation is very concerning. The fact that he has reported to Buffalo, even though he's been optioned August 11th, tells me that something isn't right physically or mentally. And I like that whatever it is, I hope Alek will get through it and come back stronger. Absolutely. Hashtag Blue Jays with the blue heart. But also mentally, you know, I was even thinking to myself, bro, like, yeah, you had such a roller coaster of a season. You go from expected to be leading the rotation, Cy Young candidate yet again. You know, you're on Talking Baseball. You know, people are picking you for Cy Young winners. Everyone's talking about how much of a better year you're going to have. And then you literally have one of the worst starts. Actually, it is the worst start to your career possible. You get optioned to AAA. You go to, or not AAA, he actually goes to Florida Complex League, gets it figured out, slowly moves up to the minors, gets some work done there. You come back. You have some decent outings. One was rough, one was good, one was okay. And then he gets sent right back down when Hunter Renio comes back. The mental toll that takes on a player, that we can't even imagine how much trouble that he must be going through right now.
I've been saying this, though. You know, I've been saying this since day one with this Alek Manoah situation. I think that it was managed horrible.
Absolutely.
I really don't think that the way that they went about doing this is managed correctly. And I understand Toronto Blue Jays, like Ross Atkins and Shapiro and John Schneider, right? Whoever's making these decisions, your main responsibility is always going to be the Toronto Blue Jays. At the end of the day, it's the team. It's not 100%. The individuals, it is the team. But you think about the future of these Blue Jays, and you have to imagine that Alek Manoah is going to be a part of that future, right?
Have to.
And even though I know, it's like everything should be focused on winning right now, today, like focusing on this one series, I just hate how we have thrown this kid around. You send him down there. This is the problem for me. You send him down there. Okay, I like that decision. You do not bring him up again to then send him down. 3 weeks after that.
It felt like a panic move by the Rogers manager or by Blue Jays management. It felt like a panic move to bring him back up. Because I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Like I think they should have kept him down there for his mental sake, for his physical sake. Keep him down there. Take the pressure off him. But when you were around June, remember we were like had a 4-man rotation and we were like saying we got to trade for a starting pitcher right now,
right?
Because we can't keep operating. We're going to keep losing ball games like this. So I think it was we can't find a guy to fill in the rotation. But we got Alek Manoah down there. They rushed him coming back. He came up for 3 games, and then we bridged that gap for when Ryu came back. And then Ryu came back, was good. Alek, you're gone. So that for me, I think that was just poor management. You didn't make the right move for Alek Manoah's sake. You made the right move for the Toronto Blue Jays winning games, but you didn't make the right move for Alek.
Listen, I'll even argue that I don't know if they did that because I think an easier solution, you could have traded for any one of the no-name starting pitchers at the deadline, right? You could have sent off, prospect, Bob, whatever, right? For who, somebody who's not even in our top 30 for a guy to come in and do. Hell, you traded for Paul DeJong and he's already gone.
That's exactly what I was going to say, bro.
You know what I mean?
We just blew a no-name prospect for Paul DeJong to fill in for 13 days.
That could have been a pitcher or whoever it was to fill that spot, and then you don't need to bring him up. You don't need to, because it's not like Alek Manoah was incredible when he was up here. It's not like he was
okay. He was giving innings.
Exactly. He gave a few innings. He did give up some earned runs and everything like that, but it wasn't like he was back to Cy Young. And I don't believe the narrative that he was ready at all.
No, I don't believe so.
He was down there for 30 days.
How could you get possibly? We were talking before, this is a season. You shut him down. You reconstruct, right? Did he come into the season ready to pitch? We don't think so. He didn't do his homework. Major league players were getting on him. That's a whole offseason adjustment. Get away from major league action and readjust for 2024. Not readjust for 2023 June or July. No, I think it was mismanaged. They mismanaged Alek Manoah and they mismanaged everything, man. They literally mismanaged the team during that time, and it's messing them up. And clearly, there's something wrong with them.
Well, listen, if it's a mental thing, even if it's a physical thing too, because maybe he comes back to the major leagues and he's not fully ready, he's not fully mentally there, right? And he injures himself in that capacity. But especially if it's a mental thing, that's partly on the management, in my opinion.
100%.
So I understand 100%. That some onus needs to be put on Alek Manoah because I understand that we can all kind of get behind the fact that he wasn't 100% conditioned properly for this year. So absolutely, some onus needs to be on you to prepare better. But the way that the management treated you this season, a little bit of onus needs to be put on them as far as the mental aspect of things are concerned.
Yeah, I can't agree more, man. And now you're hearing some rumors, and this was actually brought up by John Maworski, if I'm not mistaken.
Whoa, time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
It was brought up that potentially, and it makes sense, Blue Jays, they're going to be getting a lot of calls this offseason about Alek Manoah. And actually, shout out to Blue Jays Nation with the article right here. A lot of calls. I mean, it makes sense, right? A guy only 1 year removed from 2 good seasons in his young career in the major leagues. He's on a really good contract, very, very cheap, lots of control until 2027. And this is the perfect time to buy low on him. Now that he's staying in Toronto and he's not playing for AAA Buffalo right now, he's not making his second appearance, his second tenure with the Bisons or down in the minor leagues, right? Is this a possible way for them to save him from injury, save him from for lack of a better term, like an embarrassment of and getting his value a lot lower in the trade market.
There can absolutely be that narrative. You could start to think that maybe they don't want to play him at all because maybe he is a little bit injured and they don't want to show that off, or maybe there is something wrong with his mental and they understand that if they start pitching him again in AAA Buffalo, he is going to get blown up and that value will continue to go down. But let me just put this out here right now. Blue Jays management, if you're listening to this, do not trade Alek freaking Manoah. That would be the stupidest thing that I've ever heard in my life, right? I understand that you're going to get calls on him, as you should, because he is a young player that's shown a lot of promise. But if you trade him right now, you will be getting pennies on the dollar. You will be getting pennies on the dollar, and we know what he is capable of doing. You need to back your player right now. You need to speak with him all offseason. There cannot be a day that goes by where you're not exchanging text messages with Alek Manoah this offseason, going back and forth about getting him prepared for the next season. That's what you need to be investing in, not having conversations about potentially shipping this guy off. If they do that, that would be the dumbest thing ever.
And that's honestly why I'm thinking that he is getting this extra time. They're going, hey, this is my guess, right? Again, I don't know anything, obviously, about the situation. Only Alek Manoah and the Blue Jays management does. But I could imagine they go, hey, man, take it easy. Take 2 weeks off. Rest, go see your family, relax, go enjoy life. You're so mentally beating yourself up right now. And Alek's the kind of guy, and I don't know him personally, obviously, but Alek's the kind of guy that like would beat himself up after bad games this year. Go get away from the game for a little bit. Maybe that's what he's doing. Hey, and then report to Rogers Center, report to whatever facility they have and go, let's get you conditioned. Let's get you back into shape. We're going to get you ready to play some AAA ball, some low leverage stuff. Take the year off.
Yeah.
And then if possible, because they did mention this, there is a possibility that maybe there could be, if they don't rock with the Trevor Richards strategy, if there is an injury, maybe you bring him back up. But I think that would be a bad move. I think you got to rock with Trevor Richards.
Look, again, I'll put this out there. If you bring him back up
you're gonna
for the third time, you can't be doing that. You can't, especially after he's had 2 weeks off of baseball. Are you kidding me?
No.
If he has 2 weeks off of baseball and then you put him back in the major leagues, he is so out of Major League Baseball at that point. Dude, he's going to get destroyed.
It turns into a sitcom of just you don't think it could get any worse and any stupider.
And that's the thing. I believe that the Blue Jays management can be stupid sometimes. I truly do believe that they're not that stupid though.
No.
He's not going to be back this year. I do hope that what you're saying right now is accurate, that this is a mental reset and that they realize that, look, we did a strain on you, man. We did an absolute number. I hope there's nothing wrong with him physically. I hope that this time is just spent kind of being around, being with his family and thinking about it. And again, I need to hammer this point home. You do not trade Alek freaking Manoah at his lowest right now. He is part of the future of this team. The future rotation is going to include him and Tiedemann and Burrios, right? That's what it's going to be, because you're going to have Hyun-Jin Ryu go away, and Yusei Kikuchi's only got 1 year left. And, I mean, Chris Bassett and Gausman are good right now, but they're getting older, right? You need to fill that rotation with youth. He is the future of this pitching staff, and we need to do everything that we can to get him back to where he was.
Absolutely, man. I think, honestly, you said Yusei Kikuchi there. Man, put him in a facility in Arizona like Kikuchi did.
Yeah.
Work all off season.
Yes.
You already know. Hey, because maybe that could be a thing too. Take this as your off season. Relax, chill, then get ready to put in the work and become 110% of your former self. And get ready to play some good competitive ball. The
conversation needs to be, look, Manoah, we don't need you this season, but we need you back to where you were next year.
We need you in 2027.
Yeah.
We need you we need you in 2024, 25, 26, 27. We need you for the rest of the year.
Literally, I need to see a 2020, 2021 Vladimir Guerrero Jr. offseason from Alek Manoah this offseason.
Hell, even a Yusei Kikuchi.
For real.
Yeah. All right, guys, let us know in the comments down below. What do you think about this whole Alek Manoah drama, this series, this sitcom that's going on? We want to hear your thoughts in the comments.
Also, guys, $3 a month, become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to every single one of our current Patreon members. You guys are freaking incredible. And our YouTube members, too. You guys are amazing.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. And go Jays, go!